This is Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. Oh my goodness. Well, this beer's episode, or this episode's beer, yo, that just cracked open. That absolutely made a mess everywhere. So first off, this beer right here is Dead Distill Brewery Deadhead IPA. It's based out of Illinois, Normal, Illinois, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Got it at my favorite store to get all my beers at. Total Wine. Shout out to Total Wine. You can get any beer, any type of beer you want. Kegs, cases, singles, 6-packs, 12-packs, everything there. It is a madhouse because of the holidays every single day until Thanksgiving, obviously. And this is a 7% West Coast style IPA. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of this one. It's a tall boy too, so this is going to be an interesting show or episode, or whatever. I don't know. We're going to just call this whatever the hell we want, because today I'm going to treat you guys like a friend and tell you about the wonderful fucking time I had in Chicago as well as in Green Bay at Lambeau. That is correct. I'm going to give you blow for blow what to expect if you ever go to Lambeau. Blow for blow if you ever go to United Center, what to expect. First off, let's explain, right? Me and a friend of mine who is a diehard San Francisco 49er fan. Fuck the 49ers. I was on their show, actually. He does a show specifically about the 49ers. It's called the Whistle Gang Podcast. And shout out to the Whistle Gang Podcast. My boy Ferb, P. They're pretty dope. If you like the 49ers, you can listen to them. I do not like the 49ers, but they do produce a pretty good show, pretty good takes on the Niners and everything like that. Now, the reason I bring all that up is because we circled this game as a big game for the Niners and the Packers. And if you're following the trends of the Packers and everything like that, Packers have not we've been pretty much dominated. We've only beat them maybe once, twice, maybe in the past 10 years, maybe eight to 10 years. And I hate the Niners. The Niners hate the Packers. Niners hate the Cowboys. Those are the two teams that the Niners hate, and the Packers hate the Niners and the Bears. Those are the two teams straight up and down that we just despise. More so recently, as of late, obviously with social media and everything like that, it's just been out of hand, right? They beat us every single time in the playoffs that we've seen them when games count. Aaron Rodgers had a chance to run at them and get it over with, and special teams fucked it up. And then, so anyway, long story short, because I could ramble on about this rivalry fucking forever, but we hate them, they hate us, but me and my friend, who's like a brother to me, we decided, hey, let's go to the game. I've never been to Lambeau. He's never been to Lambeau. Let's go to fucking Lambeau. All right, bet. Let's go to Lambeau. So we planned this trip out almost a year in advance or so, or once the schedule came out, basically, we were like, yo, let's go ahead and book the flights, book the hotels. Let's go into Chicago, and then we can go, drive up to Green Bay. First fucking mistake. That is a 4-hour drive. That is a 4-hour fucking drive. I was not prepared for the bullshit. I was not prepared at all. And I used to drive trucks. So I'm a driver, so I'm okay with this. But that drive is kind of crazy because you go up through Milwaukee. Which I wish we would have stopped, but there was nothing to stop for because we left on Sunday. Like I said, we stayed down in Chicago for the weekend at the downtown Chicago at that. So anyway, we get there Saturday mid-morning or so, get to the rental, get everything, get situated, get to downtown Chicago, and we go find a deep dish pizza because I've never actually had a deep dish from Chicago. I've actually never been to Chicago. I've only been once other than that, and that was to drop off some cargo and then leave. So I really wasn't there to enjoy. And technically this time I really wasn't. I don't know. We didn't stay long, so I didn't really do too much. I went to the deep dish spot, and then we went to the hotel, basically. But listen, deep dish, it gets 1.5 thumbs down for me. It wasn't all that. Like, I thought it was going to be, cheesier. I thought it was just going to be like, more than what it was. And unfortunately, it was just a lot of fucking tomatoes and tomato sauce. And I'm not that big of a tomato guy. But I do love pizza, so they did have a slamming ass. What restaurant did we go to? Luminati's or Luminati's. Yes, I know what that sounds like. But yeah, so restaurant was cool. Bar was straight. We was drinking a couple of good ass beers on tap. I will say that Chicago does have some pretty good breweries, like Texas, like Dallas, if you will. So like I had a couple of the hazy IPAs that they had there. Not distills. But I won't go into detail of who it was because I don't really fucking remember. So it shows you how much we drank that day because it was college football day. And listen, so the bar was good for watching one game. I wish they would have had 2 TVs. It is what it is. It was more of like a restaurant style than an actual bar, so I'm not really tripping. But yeah, so now to Sunday, because that was pretty much it for Saturday. We just drank and watched football at the bar and ate deep dish pizza, and like I said, it was okay. I give it 1 thumb up. We'll give it 1 thumb up. It was okay because we went back for some more, but yeah. Anyway, so next morning, get up, drive to Wisconsin. First off, the drive is not bad. Chicago has traffic. Everybody knows big cities usually do. Excuse me. Whatever. Get to Lambeau, and there's a couple ways you can go off the highway to get there. We went Lombardi Avenue. First off, love the name. Love the fucking name. Come on. You cannot get more hype about a game when you see Lombardi fucking Avenue as your exit. Like a kid at Christmas, I was fucking screaming, crying, and going crazy because this was like a bucket list scratched off for me that like I have yet to see. And I've seen a lot of places in the world, and this place is one that I've been dying to see, and I finally got to see it. And it did not disappoint. So we get there, we pull in, it's like 40. It's actually not bad. It's actually the most inexpensive stadium that I've been to. When you consider like the LAs, the Chicagos, because we went to United Center and Chicago's beers and stuff are like $20-$30. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, when we went to Lambeau, we're talking $12-$15. Oh, let me rewind real quick because I did go see the Bulls lose to the Memphis Grizzlies. Shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies. Scottie Pippen Jr. put on a fucking clinic. He had 30 points that night. He was looking great. Vuvacek did what he could. But the Bulls are bad. But I got to hear the intro that night, the famous Chicago Bulls intro. And now, it was amazing. I ain't gonna lie, like that was also something kind of scratched off a semi-bucket list because I'm not a Bulls fan. I'm a Nets fan, but I am a Jordan fan, right? So come on, man, to hear the intro that Jordan walked out to and Scottie Pippen walked out to and all the greats out of Chicago walked out to, it's like, Derrick Rose, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was very dope. They're still living in the 90s, early 2000s as far as Bulls fandom goes. They do not understand that their team sucks, but they ride out for their team. So, and the stadium was actually really nice. They have the Jordan Stadium inside, or the Jordan statue inside, which is actually kind of cool because it's cold as hell out there. It was like 40 to 30. It was like 30 to barely 40 degrees outside that night. And yeah, so we went to that, went and watched the game. Like I said, the Grizzlies won, put on a nice little clinic. I did not see I didn't see Ball. I did see John Moran, who wasn't playing. Smart was there, stuff like that. And it was a good time. Anyway, back to Lambeau. I know, I just jumped and jumped. Y'all be all right, though. So, Lambeau. We pull up on Lombardi Ave, and we pull up on the Titletown side. And why that is important is because on that side, they have a plethora of little they have stores, they have little activations, or they have little they have an ice skate rink. They have a smaller miniature football field outside. They have townhomes right next door to that football field. They had some business that was right there, but they have built up that whole area. Like, we're talking Top Golf, or not a Top Golf. It's like an inside basketball court, something going on in there. And then they had some. It was beyond dope. And it was something that you could bring your kids to. It was something that you bring your mom to, your dad, your brothers. You could either wild out or you could, be cool. Obviously, we chose to wild out a little bit. But, hey, listen, that's just what we do. Nicest. Now, I used to always hear this, and I never really understood it. Nicest fan base I have ever been around. Not going to lie. My friend was decked out in 49ers gear, and there was actually quite a few 49er fans there. It was, I won't say 100, 50-50 or 40. It was probably like 80-20, but as far as Packers and Niners fans. But the Niners fans were there, and if they must have been from like Wisconsin or something, because they were all fucking nice too. Of course, my friends, we're not from Wisconsin, so we're, we're bundled up, and they could just tell we're not from there. Just, what are y'all, that's a nice looking jacket or chain, or, blah, blah, blah. That's a Reggie White shirt. Like, they were complimenting us as we were walking in and just shooting the shit with us football, you know what I'm saying? And it was really, honestly, it was kind of weird to me, because I've been to other stadiums when my team is playing, Packers and Cowboys. Cowboys fans don't usually talk to us. LA fans and Miami fans, I've been to a couple of games, and I've never been just, hey, what's going on? Very welcoming to me, you know what I mean? And even Packers fans, we all kind of, yeah, go Pack, go. But you felt the love there, if you will. It was just about the football game. It wasn't on no, I fucking hate you shit. It was just more about the football game. Now, they had a throne of ice. They had two thrones of ice, and then a Wisconsin statue of ice that read "Go Pack Go" etched in it. Fucking amazing. And the line was long as hell for that picture to get with yourself in there. I just waited till after the game and got a little video of it. You've seen it if you saw the Tailgate Tales. So had a good time. Had a little concert out there. Tailgating was actually kind of, honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably about a 5. It was a lot more tense outside around the stadium, on the blocks outside of the stadium. But it wasn't really, I didn't really see anything. It was like, oh, shit, this is, it's nothing like a college experience, though. It wasn't like a college experience. It was not like a Buffalo experience. Buffalo fans are fucking crazy, and Green Bay fans are good, but they're not crazy like that. It wasn't a wild experience, you know what I'm saying? It was very chill, drink, blah, 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 blah. But I really wanted to get in the stadium. They weren't letting any people in yet. It was an afternoon game, so we were sitting there waiting. Well, not really waiting. Went around on the outside, took pictures under the Lombardi statue. There was another statue, I forget who it was. And then there's just other little spots you could take pictures at. The Packers Pro Shop was actually fucking massive. And that shit was amazing to see all of the things. Even my 49er friends had to admit, damn, this is a big ass fucking pro shop. It was you walk in and you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of, this is nice, this is decent. And then you see the clothing and stuff. Oh, okay, this is decent. And then it just wraps all the fuck away around. Oh my God, it was so crazy. Listen, I was not about to go broke in there. I bought my nephew something who's a Packers fan, and I bought my son something who's also a Packers fan. Everybody else for Christmas, I'm sorry, you're going to get some gift cards because fuck that shit. On a scale of what I've seen from the Chicago Bulls United Center to Lambeau's Pro Shop, Lambeau is a little more a little less expensive, but a little more versatile. It was all Packers, but they had like socks, they had hats, they had helmets, they had the bobbleheads, they had towels, they had blankets, they had foam fingers, cheese heads, it was everything. Whereas the Bulls, they had because the Blackhawks also play in United Center, so they had the Blackhawks stuff, but they had actually better gear to me, like as far as clothing and stuff like that. Packers gear, they had some dope shit in there. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple shirts and hoodies in there. I was like, okay, I might have to make a second or third trip or just figure out if I can catch this online or something. So I did make a nice little list for myself for Christmas. So those of you that really love me, I'll put that list in the description so you can you can let me know if you find it. Anyway. But it was some dope stuff to see. Packers shop was pretty fucking amazing. Like I said, it was big. It was versatile as far as the items. It was all Packer stuff, but it was just like the items. I mean, they had, Jair Alexander shirts. They had Love shirts. They had Bart Starr shirts, Brett Favre shirts, Aaron Rodgers shirts, which I think were on clearance and in the back. But hey, listen, it is what it is. Then. Once I checked out, and the line was fucking ridiculously long, but it actually moved pretty quick. So those of you that want to ever go to Lambeau, I suggest going to the pro shop side and go through inside that way. Escalator, go upstairs, and when we go upstairs, we're pretty much in the stadium. And once we go in the stadium, the feeling I got, I'm not going to lie, the feeling I got was like, this was so fucking like amazing. I'm finally here. I finally got to Lambeau. I got to Lambeau. Like it was, yeah. So this is kind of funny though. So I see a couple of people walking around with these green chairs. And I'm kind of like, okay. And then I see spots where they're kind of like, where they're giving people those green chairs. I'm like, why the fuck is everybody getting these green chairs? What the fuck is the green chairs about? So long story short, I didn't even think anything of it, right? When I saw it, I just kind of whatever. We were looking for food, water, hot chocolate, which they were selling hot chocolate. They were selling hot chocolate in Packers cups and in regular cups and beer. Yeah, by the way, I tried Spotted Cow. Spotted Cow on my list of good beers. It's in the top 20. It's almost like I hate to put it in that perspective, but it's like, because it is Miller country up there. It's like a better tasting Miller Lite, but I feel like it's overhyped. Everybody that I talked to about Wisconsin and where I was going and all that shit like that, they like hype that shit like nobody's business. And to be so frank, it was, like I said, top 20, top 25, really, as far as beers that I've had. Yes, I've had that many beers. But I wasn't like super like, oh my God, I got to get this. But I did order it. It just didn't come in time because of the holidays, I'm sure. But I did send it to myself, not order it, but I did send it to myself. I did send a 6-pack to myself, but it's not here and yeah, whatever. Hence why I'm drinking the distilled Deadhead IPA, West Coast style Deadhead IPA, which by the way is really fucking good. Not gonna lie, I like the Support Flavor Boycott Blend. I like it. It's just a really dope ass can with the guy with the skull and the bandana and the beard. It's fucking dope. Anyway, back to Lambeau. So we get to Lambeau, we're inside, and like I said, I see everybody with these fucking chairs. We go get food. Food was okay. They had a fish thing that was actually like a fried fish plate. It had fried fish. I don't know what kind of fish. It was just white fish. I'm assuming sway or something like that, or tilapia. Who knows? It was just a white fish, and it was white fish and fries. That was actually really good. Me and the other two knuckleheads I was with, they all agreed that shit was good. They had cheese curds. Not really cheese. I'm a cheese guy, but I'm not that big of a cheese guy. I saw a lot of people eating them though, so like apparently that's like a big staple thing at Lambeau. And then my buddy of mine had the 920 burger. It was okay, I guess. He said it was. He said it wasn't nothing special, but it's stadium food. Like nobody gives a fuck about stadium food. They were serving pizzas, but I was kind of pizzaed out. So hot chocolate was hot chocolate. And then I also got a ling luing whatever beer. I couldn't hold on to the can. Really good beer. It was the Wild Berry, I think it was. It was like a reddish, purplish red can. So I'm assuming it was the Wild Berry. It's actually really good. It's actually kind of better than I won't go that far. It was good though. I see why they're like a national brewery now instead of like a regional like Spotted Cow. But I think Spotted Cow does that on purpose. Anyway, back to the chairs. We get inside where the field is. We get out. Well, I should say outside because it is not inside. It is outside like a motherfucker. We'd already walked around the whole stadium, kind of just catching the vibe and, talking to, again, people outside with no fucking shirts on. There were a bunch of guys that I saw out there, fucking husky, bearded, fucking white guys with no shirts, green and yellow overalls, and a fucking beanie on. Almost every single one. Exact same outfit and boots, I think. And exact same outfit every single time. Exact same type of white person every single time. There was not one skinny guy that I saw doing it. There was not one black person that I saw doing it. Because there were some black people, by the way. There were some black people. A lot of people were talking about like, well, Lambeau ain't got that many black people. There were black people there. And then not one Spanish, because there were Spanish people there too. And then not one woman, obviously. But I, for the life of me, could not understand it. And the guy I talked to about it, who was shirtless, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm from here, and this is just, this ain't even cold. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. And you guys missed it on Thursday. It was snowing, and in the morning, by the time you dropped the kids off to school, it was 40s, and the snow has melted, and it's just nice and cool outside." I'm sorry, sir. Cool? 30s is freezing. 40s is not cool. It's fucking cold. And it was 40s, it was like low to mid 40s while we were there. And I'm like, there's no way this is comfortable for you. And he's like, no, this is great. And he did not buy hot cocoa. He was not the one buying hot. He was buying a fucking beer. So, but anyway, we get outside, walking in our section, and we're walking down the steps, and I hear my homeboy who's in front of me say, "Wait, all of these are bleachers? All of these are fucking benches? What the fuck?" Yes, every single seat from 100 or 200 down, like, because we sat pretty close to the field. We sat like row 8, 105. Every single row above us, up to I think the 300 level in the new area, all the way down to the fucking right at the bottom, were bleacher style. Like, imagine going to a high school game, sitting on those cold ass little, steel, I don't even say steel, like aluminum style fucking bleachers or benches, if you will. I was fucking shocked. I would use flabbergasted. It was the craziest shit I'd ever seen. And it all full circle moment came back and was like, Oh, that's why everybody had fucking green chairs. That is exactly why everybody had green chairs, because literally 200s to below, all metal or bench seats type thing. So what does that mean, Ziggy, right? Means that first off, we didn't get a chair. We didn't get the chairs. We said, fuck it. We'll probably just end up standing most of the game anyway. Well, we didn't realize that's kind of normal. You know, like usually when you go to a game, like I've been to Cowboy games and stuff, like, and people always be yelling at me for standing for half of the game and shit, or, you know, like, can you sit down? I'm like, I need to go stand, you know, in the runway or the walkway, because clearly I'm blocking y'all's view. I like to stand during the game. The entire stadium, my section all the way across in that area, was standing almost the entire game. We sat down maybe for commercial breaks, maybe for halftime, which halftime no, because they had a veterans thing going on, so they had the I forget, it was Army choir or something like that. And then they had some guys commit to the National Guard and Army Reserves or something like that. Like they did the whole "I solemnly swear" thing in midfield. It was the craziest shit ever, but it was so, like, obviously it was a really good game for the Packers. The Packers won. They beat the shit out of the fucking Niners 38-10. It was a little closer than it needed to be in the first half, but, you know, it is what it is. But it was like 17 to like fucking 17-7 or some shit, but, like, you know, and then it just started getting out of hand. I had an amazing time. I lost my voice. It was the stadium, literally all the Packers fans were standing. It was so close to the field, and like, I hope that I get a chance to bring my son to these so that he can actually see this and be like, bro, this is crazy. Now, I will say, for those of you that go to the stadium, the steps are steep as hell and they're cement. So pay attention when you're walking down or up, because you will fucking trip and possibly fall. I saw one or two people in the section next to us trip down the steps. It was funny as shit. They got up, fucking Packers fans roared and shit. But it was not a, you know, bring your kids kind of thing in that section. If you do, I would suggest maybe older kids, you know, teenagers. If not, you're going to have to carry them and hold them and put them on the seat and let them stand up, because they won't be able to see the game, because literally the entire game, everyone was standing. It didn't matter if the Niners had the ball. It didn't matter if the Packers had the ball. Everyone was standing, cheering, booing, fucking yelling, "Go Pack, go!" I will say the first down thing we need to work on, Packer family, because it was looking a little lackluster. I will say that. Like, I've seen like more better celebrations for first downs, and we just need a better celebration in Lambeau. That's all I'm gonna say. But as we're watching the game, this is what topped it off for me. It started to snow. It started to snow, and I was like a kid. Again, this is on my bucket list. I've never been to Lambeau, and I would never go to a snow game. When it started to snow, it was light, but it started to snow, and I was like, oh my God, we're going to see snow. Like, I'm thinking like Thursday night's game with Cleveland and Pittsburgh, how halftime all of a sudden just turned into winter wonderland. I'm thinking, oh shit, third quarter, we're about to start seeing snow, you know, things like that. It didn't get crazy. But it was good enough for fucking – it was good enough for me because I was so hyped. My whole body was warm except for my feet. My feet were freezing, and I had like 3 socks on and shoes. And like, it was I was literally – I don't know. Yeah, but I lost my voice. My hands were good. My feet were freezing. I had 6 pairs of clothes on. It was by far the craziest shit ever. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you're a real football fan. If you're not a real football fan and you're just there with somebody, I would suggest sitting higher in the 300 section, and go during the summer months. Go during the preseason, early September, September games. Do not go after October. It is cold up there. And then we drove back to Chicago. Yes, that is correct. We drove about 7 to 8 hours back and forth. And when I tell you exhausted, I mean absolutely fucking exhausted. And I would not recommend that part of it. Next time I go, we will definitely be staying in Milwaukee, because I think Milwaukee is only about an hour to an hour and a half away. Maybe 2 hours. Yeah, it's about 2 hours away, roughly, give or take, with traffic. And I would rather that than, because there's nothing out in Lambeau for you to stay in, unless you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's nothing out there. Like, there's literally nothing there. If you go like you can't fly out there. I think there's no airports or anything that I know of out there. Believe me, I think, there's no, I mean, it might be a small one, but I didn't see any that I could fly into. So, yeah, it was amazing. 10 out of 10. Stay in Milwaukee. Don't stay in Chicago. And yeah, definitely recommend, man. So, this is a little extra. I just wanted to give y'all a little love, because I'm still thinking about when we were just jumping up and go Pack go, and the whole crowd is screaming with you, and it, like, goosebumps still. So this is Beer 30, and go Pack go.